I see a bad moon rising.
What's your problem?
All right, folks, welcome back to the Crisis Report. It is January 8th, 2025. Whoosh. Nothing stops us, okay? Nothing. I have this little imagination that little gremlins and people set out by nefarious actors are trying to do everything to stop the Crisis Report. And lo and behold, they never stop it from getting out. We always find a way, no matter what it is. So, I'm not going to get real long-winded here. I'm just going to say that there are a lot of problems out in California. We're going to cover a lot of those. That's why this one is entitled The Pacific Pyre. And, this whole thing that's going on is very cataclysmic. Had a video earlier on PrepperNow about how everything is breaking down, and it really is. I mean, let's just be honest. You think in 2025 they'd be able to get their ish together and could live in like a normal, modern world, and obviously that's just not going to happen. So, everything that you are used to, it's all going to get worse and worse and worse. So, you need to do things to get prepared, okay? There's one thing you learn from all of this is that no one is coming to help you. You are your first responder, and you have got to be the one to be able to handle whatever the heck it is that is coming down the pike for you, okay? So, let's get started for your crisis report, January 8th, 2025. Here we go. Los Angeles fire hydrants are out of water because the county refused to refill reservoirs, per Rick Caruso. Quote, can't fight a fire without water. The mayor did zero prep despite the advanced warning of winds and fire risk. This is exactly what happened in Maui. Heart-wrenching visuals have emerged from Malibu, California, showcasing the terrifying intensity of the Palisades fire. Out-of-control wildfires ravaged the region, leaving dozens of homes in ashes. Germany to Trump. Borders must not be moved by force. Donald Trump is considering declaring a national economic emergency to provide legal justification for a series of universal tariffs on allies and adversaries, CNN. Spanish Prime Minister says Elon Musk is stirring up hatred. United States military said that Wednesday its forces were hit weapons storage facilities used by Yemen's Houthi rebels to attack American warships and commercial vessels. Russia has expelled more than 80,000 migrants in 2024, nearly twice as many as in 2023, as the country toughens its migration policies. EU absolutely rejects Mark Zuckerberg's censorship claims. Denmark has opened a dialogue with the U.S. on the Arctic cooperation, according to the foreign minister. Good morning, hell. Californians awake to an apocalyptic sky as wildfires have raged in L.A. Rampaging wildfires around Los Angeles have killed at least 2 people and caused a significant number of serious injuries, officials tackling the terrifying blazes said. Mr. Blinken says Trump's demand on Greenland is not a good one and it's not going to happen. Trump has blamed California Governor Newsom after firefighters say they're running out of water at fires as they're tearing through Los Angeles. Quote, Governor Gavin Newsom refused to sign the water restoration declaration put before him that would have allowed millions of gallons of water from excess rain and snowmelt from the north to flow daily into parts of California, including the areas that are currently burning in a virtually apocalyptic way. He wanted to protect an essentially worthless fish called a smelt by giving it less water. It didn't work, but didn't care about the people of California. Now the ultimate price is being paid. I will demand that this incompetent governor allow beautiful, clean, fresh water to flow into California. He is to blame for this. On top of it all, no water for fire hydrants, not firefighting planes, a true disaster. Sam Altman's sister has filed a federal lawsuit accusing the OpenAI CEO of sexually abusing her for 10 years. Ugh. China cuts undersea internet cables to Taiwan. Kamala Harris, Los Angeles residents, is now within the mandatory evacuation zone for the Pacific Palisades wildfire. President Trump has appealed to the Supreme Court to step in and stop the sentencing in the New York criminal case. International Fact-Checking Network has convened an emergency meeting to strategize on handling sensitive topics like Pizzagate following Meta's abrupt decision to sever its partnership with the organization. It's a threat to our democracy. Los Angeles County Fire Chief warns that the National Weather Service has issued a red flag alert forecasting strong winds and low humidity, putting all Los Angeles County residents at risk. Turkish foreign minister has threatened to launch a military operation against U.S.-backed Kurdish SDF in Syria unless they accept Turkey's conditions for a bloodless transition after the fall of Bashar al-Assad. Iraqi Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani has met with the Supreme Leader of the Islamic Republic of Iran, Ayatollah Khamenei, during the official state visit to Tehran. Incoming U.S. President Donald Trump says, I think personally expanding the territory of the United States of America is one of the greatest, perhaps even the single greatest thing a president can do. It would be one of the greatest achievements. Klaus Mueller, head of the German Federal Network Agency and linked to the Green Party, threatens Meta with sanctions if Zuckerberg stops using biased fact-checkers in Europe. Der Spiegel magazine, which received funds from billionaire Gil Bates, is now attacking the German publishing powerhouse Axel Springer for publishing Elon Musk's guest article. European Union will not tolerate a takeover of Greenland in the United States. France warned Trump against threatening the bloc's sovereign borders. London's Regent Street evacuated over a bomb threat. Authorities conducted a controlled explosion as a safety measure. The police have now given the all clear. Covered that earlier. I thought it was going to turn into more, but thankfully it did not. But obviously there's a heightened alert around in what happened in, of course, New Orleans last week and Vegas and other places. There's a real concern about an uptick in that kind of stuff. Body of hostage Youssef Zayed was found in a tunnel in Gaza Strip. The Times of Israel has learned. In the same tunnel, the military located findings that raise heavy concerns for the life of his son Hamza Ziadni, who was abducted alongside him. Youssef's body and the other findings were brought to the Abu Kabir Forensics Institute for identification. IDF is continuing to operate in the area where the body was to locate additional findings. Twitter could be banned in France, threatens Jean-Noel Barrot, Minister of Foreign Affairs, in a statement. Brendan Dilley, President Trump's, hasn't even been sworn in, and he's already renamed an ocean, purchased a country, reclaimed the Panama Canal, and scared the Canadian president into quitting. I mean, is he wrong? Flames spreading Pacific Palisades fire in California have reached the Getty Villa Art Museum. Cars are being bulldozed to clear roads as firefighters battle a blaze in Pacific Palisades, California. Hundreds of people have been evacuated. A significant fire erupted in Engels in Russia Saratov region after a Ukrainian unmanned aerial vehicle was downed by air defenses. According to Saratov's regional governor, air defense forces shot down a UAV. Debris struck an industrial facility in Engels. Firefighters and emergency services are on the scene. Engels area, which also hosts a military airfield, has been seen repeated attacks, contributing to the urgency of the situation. Residents have been forced to seek shelter in basements as air raid sirens resound across the city, marking another episode of conflict in this volatile region. Chaos in Pasadena as first responders desperately try to evacuate nursing home patients out of the fire's path. Patients are even being loaded into SWAT vehicles to expedite their escape. There are clearly not even close to enough resources on the ground. Pacific Palisades fires reaching a facility for storing chlorine gas in Eaton. Firefighters are on the spot, ordering people to leave the area immediately. Reports of looting underway in the Pacific Palisades area as the Los Angeles Fire Department requests additional resources. People are trying to break into homes up here. This is freaking Armageddon. Residents all over Los Angeles reporting power outages, according to local media. Area of the forest fire in the state of California has exceeded 1,000 hectares, gradually moving into the city itself. The situation is complicated by strong winds with gusts up to 29 m/s. More than 100 people are involved in fighting the fires, or firefighters, and so it's not under control. There are now 5 active fires in the Los Angeles area. There is the Palisades Fire, Tamarack Fire, Eaton Fire, Burt Fire, and Salmar Fire. Oil depot in Engels, Saratov region of Russia, this early morning on fire after massive raid by UAVs. As usual, Russian officials claim that the debris of an intercepted UAV was the reason, but the results speak for themselves. Malibu urges residents to prepare for evacuation as Palisades fire spreads rapidly with 0% containment. California Governor's Office of Emergency Management said ahead of extreme fire weather conditions forecasted in several Southern California counties beginning Tuesday, California OES is pre-positioning engines, helicopters, and additional resources to help firefighters respond quickly. That was on Monday, and one person noted, fascinating how yesterday they were able to forecast the wildfires with such astounding accuracy. And here we are. I'm sure it's nothing. NATO will begin protecting critical facilities in the Baltic Sea by January 13th due to the increasing incidence of damage to underwater infrastructure. Alliance will deploy about 10 ships for these purposes. The operation will last until April. 1,000 buildings destroyed in Pacific Palisades fire in Los Angeles, according to officials. Mexico president says United States should be called Mexican America after Trump's vow to rename the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. Mexico president says United States should be called, that's a doubler, my apologies. Biden administration is preparing to announce the final $500 million in U.S. military assistance it will provide in Ukraine, according to Bloomberg. Trump says that there's no water in the fire hydrants, no money in FEMA, and this is what Joe Biden is leaving me with. Thanks, Joe. Zuckerberg drops LGBTQ protections. Facebook and Instagram will now allow users to accuse LGBTQ individuals of being mentally ill despite prior prohibitions. I mean, they are a protected class, They're better than you. Spain's leftist prime minister, Pedro Sanchez, attacks Elon Musk. Richest man on the planet openly attacks our institutions, incites hatred, and openly supports the heirs of Nazism in Germany. British MPs have just voted against a national inquiry into the horrific grooming gangs that are going on. European Commission Representative Eva Gruncerova said the European Union does not see the need to prepare for a new Ronademic due to the spread of the HMPV virus in China. An activist in Mexico City smashed a wax statue of Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu with a hammer. Ukraine is ready to take Hungary's place in the EU and NATO if Hungary decides to vacate it in favor of membership in the CIS or CSTO, Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine said. This is a reaction to accusations from Hungary about the alleged increase in gas prices in the EU due to the suspension of gas transit from the Russian Federation. National Grid says the electricity supply in the United Kingdom could drop below the threshold by 4:30 p.m. today, having major problems over there with power. Iran tightens security around Bushehr nuclear facility, according to IRNA. Greenland Prime Minister M.Ed to meet with Danish King today amid Trump's statements about possible seizure of the island, according to Reuters. Foreign ministries of France and Germany also spoke out on the issue. Borders in Europe cannot be changed by force. Trump's aggressive rhetoric continues to shake the world. Lebanon, a gas station caught fire in Beirut, causing emergency situation after a massive blaze, sending thick smoke into the air. In Ukraine, Russian Air Force bombed the city of Zaporozhye with a KAB-500L laser-guided bomb. Another number of victims of the Russian attack has risen to 30. AccuWeather estimates $52 billion to $57 billion in preliminary damage and economic loss has occurred from the raging Los Angeles area wildfires, according to the Associated Press. Biden, during briefing on LA wildfires, said, "But the good news is, I'm a great-grandfather as of today." So, folks, if you're worried about your business in Southern California being burnt to the ground, take care, pay heed, and know that Joe Biden is a great-grandfather as of today. That's awesome, dude. Proud of you. Maduro claims senior U.S. officials arrested in Venezuela. President-elect Trump and wife Melania Trump arrive to pay their respects to President Jimmy Carter at the United States Capitol. He is lying in state, as they call. Death toll from wildfires in Los Angeles area has risen to 5, according to the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. So, yeah, 5. Elon Musk mocks and replies to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, saying Canada will not become a state. He said, "Girl, you're not the governor of Canada anymore." And then he shantaed away. Senator Bernie Sanders says that Elon Musk laid off 7,500 American workers from Tesla and replaced them with cheap H-1B Indians. If there is truly a major shortage of skilled tech workers in this country, why did Tesla lay off 7,500 American workers this last year, including many software developers and engineers in a factory in Austin, Texas, while applying to hire thousands of H-1B guest workers? Question mark. From love, with love, Bernie. Canadian immigration minister attacks the Trump administration, says they couldn't find Canada on a map. He also compares their government to an episode of South Park. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz calls on the EU countries to stand together against the U.S. attempt to take Greenland from Denmark. Borders must be moved by force. The principle applies to every country, whether in the East or the West. In talks with our European partners, there is an uneasiness regarding recent statements from the U.S. It is clear we must stand together. Interestingly, the Scholz government fully supports Israel in moving its borders to Palestine, Lebanon, and Syria. I see what you did there, Megatron. Iran has offered humanitarian assistance to China following a large earthquake in Tibet. IDF has identified the third soldier killed in Bet Hanun, northern Gaza. That is Staff Sergeant Nevo Fisher, 20 years old. He was a tank commander in the 46th Battalion of the 401st Armored Brigade. Las Vegas police have released ChatGPT logs from Matthew Livelsberger, the suspect on the Cybertruck explosion. He asked OpenAI's ChatGPT for information on explosives, ignition methods, and where to buy them. Los Angeles Firefighting Department has decided to prioritize strategically important locations vital to American infrastructure. Los Angeles firefighters were then seen extinguishing a fire at a McDonald's. That is not a lie. They came out and they said, we're going to prioritize strategically important locations vital to American infrastructure. And literally, they're seen putting out a fire at a McDonald's. Can't make this stuff up. Danish officials are being warned by Trump allies and advisors that he is serious about acquiring Greenland, and they're carefully weighing how to respond without sparking a major rupture with a major ally and fellow NATO member, according to CNN. California Governor Newsom has deployed National Guard to help fight the wildfires. Palisades fire now covers 15,832 acres. It is spreading fast due to the high wind speeds. Pacific Palisades fire is now the most destructive in Los Angeles city history, with an estimated 1,000 structures destroyed. United States retail giant Walmart started online sales of a woman bag, which is incredibly similar to the famous Birkin bag by the French luxury brand Hermes. Now, while a real Birkin bag starts at around USD $20,000, Walmart's version sells for just $60 to $300, depending on the kind and size. So, ladies or men, feeling like you got to up your game with your satchel, your bag, going over to Walmart and get that Birkin knockoff, baby. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker and his administration is preparing for a potential budget hits from the incoming Trump administration, following a similar warning from California's Gavin Newsom. United States and United Kingdom airstrikes reported on several targets in Yemen, including Sana'a. Los Angeles Fire Department complained that there weren't enough firefighters and were short on staff. Over the previous years, local government went to great efforts to cull LFADs, to cull Los Angeles Fire Department's staff for various reasons, like refusing to take the you-know-what and being too many of a certain color on the Los Angeles Fire Department. Because God knows that's what matters. I remember the first time my house was burning down, and they showed up and I said, you guys are way too white. I need some inclusion in this sucker to put out the fire. So I'll wait. I did. That's a totally fabricated story. Firefighters in Los Angeles are seen scooping up water from a puddle with a traffic cone to extinguish a small fire. That is not a lie. That is where California is right now. They took a freaking cone, like you'd see at a sports game or a road hazard, an orange cone, and were scooping up puddle water to put out a small fire. It is absolutely surreal. 19 people, including 18 attackers, were killed in an assault on the presidential palace in Chad. This was reported by the AFP news agency, citing the country's authorities. Strangely enough, France is just being kicked out of there this week. Florida grand jury has determined that Big Pharma engaged in a pattern of deceptive and obfuscatory behavior while promoting a certain something to generate profit by the billions, all while concealing some of the old negatives. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, now to Maine. We can't say that whole one. Man arrested after trying to enter the U.S. Capitol with a machete. Not once, not twice. Actually, no. 3 knives. This was 3 times. So yeah, a man was arrested after trying to enter the United States Capitol with a machete and 3 knives. I'm sure he had just going to cut a cake or something. It's not like, Biden just gave a complete, total, detailed innards of the White House via drone for his holiday message. Idiot that he is. Paris Hilton's Malibu Beach home has been completely destroyed in the California wildfire, and a new fire has erupted in the Hollywood Hills, potentially posing a threat to the iconic Hollywood sign. Polish defense minister says the next Rammstein meeting, Rammstein, du hast nicht. Well, it might be the last one. January 9 meeting will focus on strengthening Ukraine's defense capabilities through 2027, including air force, armor, artillery, drone, demining, missile defense, and maritime security needs, according to a Pentagon statement on January 7th. And that, my friends, is your crisis report. So, yeah. January 8th, 2025. California is literally on fire, and it is devastating, to say the least. So our hearts go out there. I actually have a really good friend that last I checked, he's either in Silver Lake or North Hollywood, but he, I don't know. I haven't checked in with him in the last couple days, so I'm going to probably do, because we talk every once in a while, Christmas and that. But, yeah, I hope he's okay. And anybody out there in California, please be safe. Anybody anywhere. Like I said on my PrepperNow video, everything is just collapsing and crumbling down. They're going to, put a bunch of lipstick on this pig, but fact is, folks, bad things are happening, okay? So, on that note, stack, stock, stick to the plan, keep it on a swivel, and your powder dry. I hope you will hit that like button, possibly consider joining as a member. That is the best way to keep things on. There is a bit of a concerted shoving down of me in the, especially on PrepperNow. I don't know what happened. They just kind of started going out. I just don't get what I used to get. So, which is strange because other numbers are going up. Anyway, I don't know. Whatever. Maybe it's the beginning of the year. But prepping is in vogue, and you should be prepared. And I appreciate you being here. So hit those links in the description. Sorry to my Subscribe Star and Locals people. Had a late start tonight for obvious reasons. I'm just lucky to get this thing out. But like I said, man, time to make the donuts. Nothing's going to stop this sucker, okay? Crises roll on, and I'll be here to cover it all in the most comprehensive news on YouTube. God bless, friends. We'll see you on the next one.